What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the series, You Need Leadership Development. And if you have not gotten caught up with all the other episodes, go back, watch the playlist, and get really acclimated to what we're talking about. And I'm really excited about today because a lot of people struggle with this area of retaining a team, because we talked about what you need to understand and know to build a team. Now we're going to talk about how do you keep them? How do you retain them? Why? Because individuals don't tend to quit the corporations, the companies, the businesses. They tend to quit the leader, and that's why you need leadership development. And I'm glad you're here. So if you don't know who I am, maybe you just popped this on for the first time. I'm Aisha Thomas, your leadership and team development expert. And I'm really giving you guys some great nuggets, some information, so you have an understanding as a leader personally and professionally, how to ensure that you're doing your part so you can lead effectively, so people don't quit you as a leader. And on this episode, again, we're talking about the importance of understanding how to retain a team, because maybe you've gotten to the phase where now you're managing a team, but how do you keep them there? How do you keep them from not walking out the door? I recently worked at an organization a few years back, and the retention issue was a really big issue. A lot of people were leaving for a multitude of reasons. So we don't want that to happen for us as we're building our companies, as we're really getting the mantle given to us so we can lead that team. We want to ensure people are happy, they're engaged, they're motivated, so they can stay. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the first step in this process is really identifying what the current workspace climate is. What does the culture feel like? It's so important to know if people are happy. Are they motivated? Are they still connected to that mission and vision? Are they overwhelmed? A lot of organizations have really made a shift from doing those assessments annually, where you're doing your performance assessment annually, and now it's regular check-ins to really understand and know what are the breakdowns, what are the issues, what is the current climate, do people feel included, do people have an issue about diversity or inclusion, do people have concerns about how clients are interacting with them, or might have some recommendation to make the workflow kind of go a lot smoother. So we have to really assess and make sure that the climate and the culture of that team, of that workspace, of that organization and company is good. And the best way to do that is what I call is really identifying the needs. I call it a needs assessment, because we won't know. We might have some team members that are willing, and you have that good relationship with them where they can come to you and say, these are the current issue within the team or the organization or the company. But some people might not feel comfortable because essentially they work for you or they work for this company. They don't want to say anything that they're afraid that they could potentially lose a job over, or it might affect how people look at them or treat them. Some people do have those concerns, although you might not do that, but some of them have those thoughts in the back of their mind, so they're willing to keep that information in so they don't ruffle any feathers from their perspective. So what kind of processes or systems and what kind of changes can you do to make sure that you are checking in with your team members on a regular basis? You are creating surveys and really identifying ways so you can identify if there are any issues within the climate or within the culture. And that is by really finding out what are the needs of your team. What kind of changes are they saying, you know what, I think by doing this is going to benefit this? And really making sure that now that they're within your team, within your organization and your company, now that they're seeing how everything flows, really making sure they're getting the support that they need, and you're also understanding what kind of issues there are. So make sure that you are checking on your team's needs, because yes, we might think we know how to support them, how to help them, but we need to hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. Ask the people, find a system where you can make sure that you are checking in so you can identify the needs and the culture and the climate. The next thing that's extremely important is engagement. If you want to retain a team, you need to make sure that your employee, your team member engagement is so good, because again, if you think about how we built the team, we identified their strengths, their behavior styles, your leadership style. Are you really paying attention to find out how to engage with each team member based off of how they like to interact with you, or how they like to be awarded, or how they like to be recognized. You need to customize how you engage with your team members, because yes, you might have a collective way that you engage with everyone. Okay, every third Friday we go out to lunch together, or we do this annual event every year. But when you're having that one-on-one interaction, how are you making sure you're connecting with that individual differently than this other individual? Yes, for some people you can maybe approach them the same, but for others, their approach or how you approach them is going to be different. So make sure that you are ensuring that you can engage your team members differently, and you know how to shift and change depending on who you talk to. And really, in the area of the needs assessment, you might really find out that this team member might have this concern while this member has another concern. So this information, and by you making sure you're maintaining a healthy professional relationship with your team members, will allow you to know what makes each one different, how to engage each one, so you can show that you care, so you can show that you're listening to them and really supporting them and developing them the way that they need, versus you just thinking that you can just approach them with the one size fits all, and it might not work for everyone. So really make sure that your engagement is up to par. Again, that's really effective. That's going to benefit you in retaining your team, because that is an area that a lot of leaders lack in. And if you're not engaging your team, then you can potentially lose them. So the last area that's going to be the most important is the maintenance. How do you ensure that you are now making this the regular habit you are participating in as a leader? So right now, the hot topic, a lot of people are talking about inclusion, diversity, equity, and they've put out statements. They're getting the training. They're having the conversations. Their team members have identified and told them, this is the current climate in the culture. I don't feel like this is an inclusive environment. Oh, these are my needs. This is what we're looking for. Okay, now you're working on engagement. You're having those conversations. Maybe these are conversations you never had, or now you're realizing that you need to have it. But what happens a year from now? Does this process die down because it's not the hot topic anymore? We don't want to be reactive leaders. We want to be proactive. So we have to make sure we're maintaining this culture shift. This is the new way our company is going to move forward. This is how we're going to do things. And now it is a regular practice as a leader. It's a regular practice as a company. If you are the CEO, if you're the executive in that role, we want to make sure that we're maintaining these behaviors, because all of that is going to tie into retention. Your team members are paying attention. They're looking at if you are going to practice what you preach. And if you don't, then essentially they're going to quit you as a leader. Why? Because you have not really embedded these changes. This was something that you done out of reaction. But proactively, they're like, oh, okay, this person isn't really going to maintain this type of behavior. So this is probably going to be the most important aspect. So you said you're going to do it. You took the steps last year. Now this year is back to how it used to be. So really ensure that you are identifying what the current climate and culture is on a regular basis. Identifying the needs of your team, making sure that you're engaging them effectively, making it customized to that team, to that individual, and then finally maintaining these changes, making it the new culture, making this the new mission and the vision, making the changes and adjustments in the values of your company. And it's something that you guys are practicing in the future, so you can ensure that you retain a team. Why? Because individuals don't typically quit the organization. They typically quit the leader. And that's why you need leadership development. Thank you for tuning in.